Every time you feel sick today, you probably do the same thing. You visit a hospital. A doctor examines you. You receive medicine. And within days, you're often feeling better. It feels so normal that we rarely stop to think about it. But for almost all of human history, hospitals didn't exist. There were no ambulances, no pharmacies, no antibiotics, no x-rays, no surgery rooms filled with modern equipment. So here's the question. How did people survive for thousands of years without hospitals or modern medicine? The answer is both fascinating and terrifying. Imagine waking up 10,000 years ago with a high fever. You couldn't call a doctor. There wasn't one. There was no emergency room waiting for you. Your entire village depended on experience, nature, and hope. If someone became sick, the first people they turned to weren't doctors. They were elders. Every community had people who had spent decades observing illnesses and learning which plants helped relieve pain or reduce fever. Their knowledge wasn't written in books. It was passed from one generation to another through stories and memory. In many ways, they became humanity's first healers. Nature itself was their pharmacy. Across forests, mountains, and rivers, ancient people searched for leaves, roots, bark, flowers, and herbs that seemed to help the body recover. Some worked surprisingly well. For example, willow bark contained salicin, a natural compound that eventually inspired the development of aspirin. Long before scientists understood chemistry, people had already discovered that certain trees could help reduce pain. Honey was another powerful medicine. Ancient Egyptians placed honey on wounds because it slowed the growth of bacteria and helped injuries heal. Even today, certain medical-grade honey is still used in hospitals for treating difficult wounds. Sometimes, ancient knowledge was incredibly accurate, but other times, it was dangerously wrong. Many illnesses had no cure. People didn't understand bacteria or viruses. Instead, sickness was often blamed on angry spirits, curses, or supernatural forces. Because of this, treatments could become very strange. Some communities performed rituals. Others burned herbs while chanting prayers. Some believed certain objects could drive away disease. While these practices sometimes comforted patients emotionally, they usually couldn't stop deadly infections. One small cut could become life-threatening. Today, a simple scratch might require nothing more than soap and a bandage. Thousands of years ago, that same wound could become infected. Without antibiotics, bacteria spread rapidly through the body. Many people died from injuries that would barely concern us today. Broken bones were another enormous challenge. There were no hospitals with orthopedic surgeons. Instead, experienced healers carefully straightened broken limbs using wooden sticks, rope, and cloth to keep the bones from moving while they healed. It wasn't perfect, but surprisingly, many broken bones healed successfully. Archaeologists have discovered ancient skeletons with completely healed fractures, proving that communities cared for injured people over long periods of time. That tells us something remarkable. Ancient humans didn't simply abandon the weak. They helped each other survive. Childbirth was perhaps the greatest danger of all. Today, doctors, nurses, sterile equipment, blood transfusions, and emergency surgery save millions of mothers and babies every year. In ancient times, none of those existed. Women gave birth at home with the help of experienced midwives. Many deliveries went well, but when serious complications happened, there was often very little anyone could do. Countless mothers and newborn babies lost their lives. Infections were another invisible enemy. People couldn't see bacteria because microscopes had not yet been invented. They had no idea that dirty hands, contaminated water, or unclean tools could spread disease. As a result, deadly illnesses moved quickly through villages and cities. Sometimes entire communities became sick. Then, around 2,000 years ago, something important began to change. Some civilizations started creating places where sick people could receive organized care. These early healing centers weren't like today's hospitals, but they marked the beginning of a new idea. Instead of treating illness alone at home, people could receive help in a dedicated place. Centuries later, hospitals continued improving. Doctors slowly learned more about anatomy by studying the human body. Scientists eventually discovered that tiny organisms called bacteria caused many diseases. That discovery completely changed medicine. In the 19th century, antiseptics made surgery much safer. Soon after came vaccines, which protected millions of people from deadly diseases before they ever became sick. Then came one of the greatest medical breakthroughs in history: antibiotics. When penicillin was discovered in the 20th century, infections that once killed millions suddenly became treatable. Human life expectancy began rising faster than ever before. Today, many illnesses that terrified ancient civilizations can be cured with medicines costing only a few dollars. Yet despite all our technology, the human body still heals itself in many of the same ways it always has. A broken bone still grows back together. Cuts still form scabs. Your immune system still fights invading germs every single day without you even noticing. Modern medicine doesn't replace your body's healing ability. It helps it. So the next time you walk into a hospital, remember this. For thousands of years, your ancestors survived with little more than plants, experience, and hope. Many never made it. But every generation learned a little more than the one before. Those discoveries became the foundation of modern medicine. And every hospital you see today exists because countless people spent thousands of years searching for ways to save a single human life.